So Farrah and Tamara, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be back.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's gonna be super fun.
So the first time we all met, it was right before everything got shut down.
Right.
And it was actually like I was starting to do the show again. We all met and like I was really interested and surprised that you guys as sisters, you were working together, making music together, writing together. And that was the thing that I liked the most about you girls.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so tell me how things have changed from back then to now of you guys working together and everything that has happened in the last like couple of years.
A lot's happened. We still work together in pretty much the same way, but I think we both taken on different roles, kind of what we're good at now that we're a bit older. We're both kind of, so we can get more done, looking at like what I should do, what she should do, and how we can like get more stuff done together with what we're both good at.
Right,
So
like the
that's
division
been
of
a change.
labor.
Yes.
So what are you guys good at, each one?
The nerd stuff, like internet, technology, Google Sheets, Excel, whatever. The nerd research. I'm good at the research. And
And I'm good at like,
people.
yeah, people. Like I love reaching out to people, talking to people, going to events, just making that in-person contact, feeling people's energy, letting people feel mine, and just getting on the same wavelength as everyone. Making new things happen, making new music, and just creating those contacts.
So what about when you guys are making music now? Because you're right, like in 2 years, you guys have grown a lot. So you're different people now, basically, since last time when we had you guys on the show. So from the music standpoint, how has that process changed and gotten different for you?
Well, now we are officially, our record label that we own, our family label, we're officially part of the Recording Academy.
Wow.
So that's kind of like a
As
step
a media
up.
company, yeah.
Right.
So that's dope.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, and
Thank
this
you.
year we're doing a campaign for a remix to one of her old songs, "Scream." That'll be dropping at the end of this month. The remix, and it's with this really dope DJ named Shitty Princess. Shout out, and
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's fire. But we're doing like video for it. We were just in Malibu the other day shooting, and it's getting edited right now. So I'm excited to see that and start, like promoting it and marketing it and everything.
And let's quickly talk about how Tamara is a true jack of all trades because she was the videographer for the video.
Okay.
iPhone, I can't take all the credit. iPhones are really, really good now. You almost just have to be there, and the phone does the rest. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's something I really like about you girls, because you're always like shooting your own stuff and doing your own thing. So why do you think that people who say, oh, I want to make music, but then I don't have this or I don't have that, like, how were you able to like decide finally, hey, this is what I'm going to do, so now I'm going to keep doing it no matter what, like even if I have to shoot my own
do it
video
myself,
on my
yeah.
own.
I would say just go for it. Just do it yourself. You cannot rely on people. You cannot wait for the right time. You cannot wait for the right person to come along. Get up and make it happen. You want it that badly, you will make it happen.
Also, like, stuff's really expensive, and especially in entertainment, we all know, especially marketing yourself, going to places, traveling, whatever you have to do, going out to eat, going to meetings, that stuff adds up. So once you're doing that, on top of just doing the videos and doing the songs, you realize where you kind of should put your budget. So if I were to say anything to independent artists just starting out, don't waste your money right now, shoot your own video, because you're not going to get anything that much greater with like a small budget. You can do it yourself pretty much, find a friend that has a camera, or, do a low budget video, but you want to save your money for stuff once
You're
you
gonna
have the
spend
product.
it.
You'll spend it.
You're gonna end up
It's not
spending
like
it,
you're going to
right.
keep it, but if you can do it yourself, like, I think that's a big part why we started doing so much on our own, because it's almost a waste of money at this point.
And not just the
because we're
money.
independent.
Don't get me wrong. That's a huge factor. But just
Having
things
the
actually
ability.
happening. So much more has actually happened now that we have taken it into our own hands and done things ourselves. So, like, we've actually seen our careers progress even more.
Like, people are knowing our names when we're going out to these events and stuff,
Right.
and remembering our faces, just because we're kind of at the forefront of everything. We're not having like a secondary company like make calls on our behalf or do stuff on our behalf, or even have creative control over any of the videos we make. Like, it's just really all us.
Again,
So,
making that contact yourself is so important. Talking to these people yourselves, whether they work for a record label or a company or a PR firm or whatever, actually talking to them yourself or messaging them yourself just creates a bond that's even stronger than if somebody else were to do it and you were to pay somebody else to do it on your behalf. Which, don't get me wrong, is nice, of course, because you want to be able to focus and spend your time doing things that you're that you prioritize.
My tattoo documentary, Literary Ink, is streaming now on all platforms. If you love stories, documentaries, and especially if you love tattoos and Harry Potter, this movie is just for you. Check out Literary Ink, streaming now on all major platforms.
Now, do you think that the record labels are basically dead in the future?
Kind of, but not really. Record labels are always going to be there, but they might have a different role in what they're doing, because there's a lot of independence now, especially with like distribution. They can do it online, and then people can make stuff on their own, release their own music. But I think the capacity of what they can do is going to change, and I think they're going to that they'll be there, but I just think it'll be different. I think it'll be different, especially with AI and everything. It's going to be very different with the labels.
I mean, I think that, like you said, the roles of the record labels have just changed drastically, especially after COVID. Whereas before, and I know everybody says this all the time, but whereas before, somebody, an A&R from a record label or somebody that scouts for people on the street will find talent, raw talent, and develop it and take this person and make them a star. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. You can't stand there and sit there and wait for somebody to come along and make
say,
you a star.
We like you have
right?
it.
And it's crazy because record labels, they started getting really into followings. How much following do you have? And this was before COVID.
But that didn't pay off for them, because none of the artists they tried to blow up, and I mean not even one from social media who was a famous TikToker, it wasn't even that they didn't blow up, but they almost got they didn't get respect for it. People were like, what is this? The fans, the actual people who have the power, the buying power at the end of the day, it was a joke. So for a couple years, the record labels were just completely kind of making fools of themselves by who they were signing, in my opinion, not even to step on any toes, but it was kind of embarrassing. And nowadays you got people who 5 years ago, they had no idea. They're over here talking about being independent in this and talking about record labels and how they don't care about true artistry and they just want the views, and they always wanted just the money. That's all record labels ever wanted. But the past 5 years, they made it so obvious because of the artists they chose that they lost the support of the general public. No one even cares about them.
And now
everybody's trying to find their next obsession. When I was 10, Justin Bieber dropped. Oh my God, right? No, maybe younger than 10. It was a long time ago. But now a label will drop someone, or just someone will just come out, and you don't get that same obsession. You don't get that same, these people, they want to be fans of someone. They're looking for a fan base to join. So they're literally going out and finding it on their own, giving independence power.
True artistry. I even saw on Twitter, probably yesterday or a couple days ago, which is now, I guess, called X. But anyway, people were talking about, and there was this thread about music and record labels and artists, and everybody's there's no good artists anymore. I'm so sick of listening to the radio. I only support independent artists. I'm so sick of what I'm hearing. People are really angry. They want true artistry. They want music and somebody that they can fall in love with and obsess over.
This
Britney
has been
Spears,
10
back
years
in the
in
day,
the
Britney
making.
Spears.
Yeah, but I think whoever is saying that, dude, you just need to go and find your own music that you like.
Right.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the label chooses or the radio or this and that. You can find any artist of any genre of any type of music that you like and just rock with whatever it is that you like and go directly to them and enjoy their music.
And that's what people are doing now too, which is great, as opposed to just counting on the radio or Spotify or whatever to just give them, what they like. They're going out and searching for it because they don't like what they're being fed.
Well, not just that, everybody has their own preference.
Right. There's just a big demand, and I've talked to a lot of people about it, and I've seen podcasts where people are talking about it for authenticity as far as artistry, and just not even the songs they make only, but full albums with stories. People miss that. They really do, and they're talking about it.
Do you think so though? Because at least for me, I never. Well, the only
slowly
album,
but surely.
Yeah, the only albums is it has to be an artist that I really, really like. Like when Drake drops an album, I wait. I get in my car. I wait until whenever the album drops. I wait until I have some time to do a long drive.
Right.
From start
You
to
can
finish.
listen.
From start to finish.
'Cause
And
it's
I
a
listen
story,
to the whole
man.
thing. But it's only with that. It's only with Drake because
Well, that's
I really
the
like
problem.
him. I'm not gonna do that with some random person that I don't know.
Well, that's the whole point. Is people
That's
are sick
how
of
Drake
these
built
random
himself to that.
people. People want that artist, that pop star, that famous rap star or whatever, that they can really fall in love with.
The reason Drake is because back, he had a singles, I'm sure, but he had Take Care, the album. And, and the album was great. Everybody listened to the full album. The artists nowadays are not making full albums. They're getting singles shopped to them. They're not choosing the singles. Their teams are choosing the singles. A lot of them don't have a say. So then when they make the album, it's not cohesive. It doesn't even sound like the same album. It's just a bunch of different singles on an album.
Yeah.
And that's translating. And like I said, slowly but surely, it's been 5 years in the making, and it's just going to get worse and worse until it just hits a wall. People are really sick of being fed fake music. It's not even like, it's always been, a lot of it's been fake, but it's too obvious now. Even the general public realize, like, this isn't even real. This is just, there's no emotion in it. There needs to be emotion.
And it's not even the artist's fault a lot of the time. It's their, it's whoever's in charge, or the record labels that they're signed to.
But it's the artist.
Right.
I understand your point, but I need to push back and say, hey, if you are the artist, you need to decide what it is that you want to make.
A lot of
might
times
lose deals.
These artists
They'll lose everything if they try.
Are so, constricted because of certain contracts, and they're not allowed to, and they can't have a say.
You have to hold a lot of power as an artist to be able to say that back to your team. You got to be, like one of the top. You got to really. Not many artists have the luxury to do that.
Right. Those with the money get to make the decisions, and if the artist isn't the one paying for everything,
which
from
they're
their
usually
own pocket,
not.
Right. Which is usually a label or whomever is behind them, investors. The ones with the money make the decisions, like with anything in life. Mm-hmm. So of course, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I think the money is going to start moving to different ways because of what you guys are saying of the audience actually wanting to go directly to the person. The part that is still tricky and complicated is with art and artists, we're just not very organized. So it's very difficult to be artistic and also be super organized
on the business side. And
even I struggle with that because I have my brain is like split in half.
Yep.
Half of my brain, I think business, I want to make money, I want to blow things up, and I understand there's a structure not only for the way you execute, but also the way the powers get distributed. And when you're going up against a company like Universal Music,
right.
You're not going to beat them at their game.
Right. Yeah, you're not.
100%.
Unfortunately.
But then the other half of my brain is like, when I hear a song, like I see colors, like I see pictures, I see like visual metaphors, like my brain goes down that path.
Right, because you're an artist.
And then I want to do that.
Right.
So I'm always trying to, how do I bring them
that balance
and
together,
meet in the middle?
Yeah.
Because I want to make amazing, beautiful art, but I want to make a shit ton of money.
And you also want it to be seen, right? So it's like, here we are making these songs, and she's writing, and I'm singing, and I'm, adding some opera or whatever, or freestyling. It's important, like
to
you said,
know what
the
you're going to
business
do with
side,
them,
right?
to be able to get people to listen to them at all. Because like she said, we have all these songs, who's listening to them and on what scale. And it's like, you can have like a small number of people listen to it, which is a big, big blessing and is very grateful. But it's just, it's hard as an artist to know how to really just multiply that and just make it like exponentially grow your fan base, because we're not on that side. We're not on the business, critical thinking, organization side. We just want to make art all day, but we have to make money. So that's where you got to look at it
not just
totally
the money,
different way.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just making sure that people see it. And that's part of the business. It's marketing and getting it in front of viewers and getting it in front of listeners. And that has become so tricky nowadays because of just like the amount of songs that are released every single day. I think it's like 120,000 songs are released every single day. I mean, how are you going to get yours?
You have to meet the right person.
Right.
And there's a lot of right people, but it's the right person for you. There's going to be someone that will help you. And I'm not saying they're going to come and change your life, but like, you can't do it on your own. You can't, not fully on your own.
So we talked a lot about the business. Let's talk now about the art, because I think that's the fun part that no one can really like narrow down. So Farrah, tell me about the next song that you haven't performed yet, that you haven't written yet, that you don't have yet. How is that song going to come to you?
Well, a lot of song ideas that I have are I actually have in my voice memos, where I'll just come up with something and just start singing, like how I used to when I was a kid, and just singing words to whatever melody pops in my head, and it like truly comes from my heart. And then I will, hold on to that, rename the voice memo to whatever it's called, and then, send it to whichever producer that I think would be good for it, and say, hey, I really want to turn this into a song. And then I love embellishing it with backgrounds. I love adding opera. That's my specialty. That's my favorite thing ever, actually, is opera. And I love just adding a ton of layers in the background, whether I'm humming or singing ahs or oohs, and just making it sound like there's a whole choir behind me. And that's probably my favorite part of making music, is actually adding in those backgrounds, because I think it just is so unique and no one does it. And I have, you know, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I have such a special voice when it comes to doing that type of music, or, you know, adding in that opera. But that's just one way. Another way is, you know, my sister, again, she is an incredible songwriter. I mean, she can tell you herself.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can. So I yeah.
Tell me, Tamara,
Yes.
how do the lyrics come to you?
It depends. Sometimes they're just there. A song is there, and I'll write it down. And sometimes I'll record it, but I'll forget. But usually, once I've written the words, I have it. But I'll record it if I remember. I usually do.
But is it like you
But,
wake
like,
up in the morning and like the song's in your
Anywhere,
head, or
shower,
you're walking
morning,
around?
it doesn't matter, wherever. I'll start like singing something, and I'll ask myself, like, is this a song stuck in my head? And then I'll think about, like, I'll look up the lyrics. It's not a song. I'm like, all right, so I just wrote that. You know, like, I'm thinking maybe something's just stuck in my head, and I'll just check. But usually, though, if we're just like setting up a studio session with a producer, we'll walk in the studio, start building the beat from scratch with them, and then I'll either throw on lyrics, or we'll go lay stuff down, or we'll just, you know, work on like, part by part. It depends. It's different every time, but I like just going in the studio. You know, they call it the lab. It's literally like getting in the lab and just like cooking up like chemicals. Like that's what it is.
And I want to
Until
say
you're
this
done.
really quickly about her songwriting is she's so incredible, and she takes songwriting to a new level, because, you know, everybody talks about top lining nowadays and all this stuff, and
Top lining?
top
What is
lining,
that?
like standing at the microphone and coming up with a few words or melodies, or just
It's writing a song.
or speaking gibberish into the microphone, or singing gibberish like la la la, whatever
And then
it
at
is.
the end choosing like, all right, this part was good, let's put it together. Or some people will go top line and they'll like, it's rare this way, but they'll sing the whole song start to finish. Usually if they do that, they've had a little bit of an idea before that, but it's not like impossible. But you know, top lining is cool though.
But anyway, my whole point is,
I just like to go in and just write it though. It's, you know, but top lining it's its own thing. It's fun sometimes, but like it's different. It's different. You can writing is technically top lining. So when I'm writing and I'm sitting here with a beat singing the lyrics I'm writing, like it's pretty much top lining.
yeah.
But it's not just like singing random stuff and choosing the best, which I do sometimes in my voice memos. So it's like top lining instead of writing and then going and singing what you already wrote. It's like going to sing to figure out what you're going to write. That's top lining.
So I see you have that blue tattoo. on
We
your
both have
right
that
arm.
actually. Did we not? I don't know if we had it last time. We might have been new.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't
if
remember.
you
Maybe
had
not.
it. So tell me about that.
It's just the evil eye.
It's actually not the evil eye. It's the
Oh
amulet.
wait, she said that it was the evil eye. So and you said
It gets
it's what?
it gets against the evil eye. They just call it.
People call it the
Evil
evil eye,
eye.
but it's actually not the evil eye. It's the amulet that protects against the evil eye. And what that does, culturally speaking, or, you know, according to myth or legend or whatever you want to call it, is if somebody has like an on you, which means like the eye, a negative, you know, feeling towards you, or envy, or just some type of
You showed them
something
that?
negative. No, it just supposedly like this symbol, this, especially teal. Teal is the color it's supposed to be. That's why we got it in blue. Supposedly keeps the evil away. So it'll
It
block.
doesn't hold any power near like the cross, for example, but it is nice colors. And I will say, like, we're from the Middle East. We're Catholic, but we're from the Middle East. And like in Middle Eastern cultures, no matter what they are, like what religion, what country they're from, evil eye is a big thing over there. They're all worried about like jealousy and just it's very weird in the Middle East.
And
so
they're-
they're all big on like in Turkey. This is literally pretty much like Turkish, I think.
It is Turkish, yeah.
So
But if have you ever seen people wear those bracelets with all those little beads, right? So, or, you know, supposedly that blocks anybody who has
they
any-
look like little eyeballs.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
plenty of
So,
them.
so supposedly it actually like protects evil against you, and if one of those beads breaks, it's because it was blocking the evil, and when it blocks the evil,
It does break weirdly.
yeah, and when it blocks the evil, it breaks.
Yeah, I'm just worried that when people are focusing so much on that, it's like almost like bringing your own negative.
Right.
Exactly. I tell Middle Eastern people, I was like 15, 16 when we got even this, and I was all like, oh, astrology. But like, I tell them the evil eye, I tell my cousins all the time too, because they're like from there, they're still very old fashioned, that jealousy and the evil eye will not hold power over you unless you give it the power. And like, I'll be like, God's got me, like, someone can be jealous of me, I don't care. They'll be like, don't tell people that, you just won this award, you're gonna lose it. How am I losing a award I already won? Like, what are you scared of?
It's like kinda
but I
like-
get in fights with them about that. Even before me and Farrah used to argue, I'd be like, Farrah, the evil eye doesn't have power. Yes, it does, yes, it does. Bro, it does, but like because you're fully saying it does. Nothing can touch you if you believe it can't, and then there
Right.
won't.
No, I'm not saying like, oh, give it all your power and focus on it. Just explaining the myth and
Yeah.
legend
But
behind
that's what
no,
it
I
is, though, of
understand,
course,
I
yeah.
understand. I was just making a point.
Yeah.
So tell me about the cultural shock of you guys. Your family's from the Middle East. You guys grew up in Michigan, right? And then you come here to LA. Completely different vibes.
Right. They didn't like when we moved to LA, but we had always been
Who
our
didn't?
family, just
Your
our family. But
We don't talk to a lot of
yeah,
our family.
it's always been unconventional. Our whole family, our parents got divorced when I was like 7, and that's even like just not normal for our
Super
family.
taboo.
Yeah, so our family was already kind of like a little more Americanized than the rest of them. Even besides that, my mom was always just very Americanized. We'd go to like museums and like, I don't know, stuff that they just didn't do, I guess, for whatever reason. I know they have them over there. I don't know why they didn't go, but you know, we'll come here. She'll like, we would just like kind of grew up more American. Went to like all of our friends
they
were like at
also-
Catholic school, like white girls. It wasn't like like Chaldean City where we lived, but
Yeah.
And you
Well, they
were-
also
so they kind of expected it.
Yeah, they also grew up in like a war zone. So they weren't able to focus on the arts or music or something, you know? Not all of our family did, but a lot of people
Anyone who left after like the 90s, they were in a war zone.
right. So a lot of people who grew up in Iraq or, you know, like our parents for example, they were in a war zone. They were living in that time of
So your mom and your dad were both from Iraq?
yeah.
But they met in the States.
They actually met in Chicago,
Okay.
then moved to Boston. I was born in Boston.
A lot of Iraqis
And
fled
then
to
moved to
Detroit.
Detroit. And then she was born in Detroit. And then now here we are for music.
Yeah, our family, every time for like, if we went, was a funeral, my uncle passed away, rest in peace, we went back, they're all saying, when are you coming back? When are you moving back? I'm like, I don't know what they don't understand. It's been 6
Well,
years.
it's almost like a few of them are like waiting for us to like
Just come
fail, quote unquote.
That doesn't make
Like,
sense though.
Like it's, but the thing is, this is not a fail or succeed thing. This is life, and it's a journey, and you're going to have ups and downs, like with anything in life, right? And a nice point that Tamara always makes is, let's say you went to med school or law school, you wouldn't have your own private practice.
So you're
have
like
your-
35.
Right.
You're not even done with residency till 30 something. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not so like we'll probably, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm 22, so I'll probably see like success in songwriting even monetarily before I would have if I became a doctor. So if my family's like, go be a doctor, it's guaranteed. It's not even as
Nothing is
no,
guaranteed
nothing
in
is.
life.
Yeah, like my friend, she
Nothing.
was studying to be a dancer, not studying, but she was a dancer. She is a dancer. And then she was going to go to college, but then she broke her foot right before and she had like scholarship. She came out here still and she studied acting. So like I said, her whole life she was going to be a dancer, but that changed. Nothing's guaranteed, whether it's medicine, dancing, like you never know what could happen. You could just wake up one day and absolutely be just like appalled and disgusted by the human body and not be able to do medicine anymore. That's what happened to my dad.
Yeah, or-
he couldn't even try it.
You know,
But-
accidents could even happen. God, you know.
God forbid, but yeah, you know, so like there's no, oh, well, are you gonna give up? When are you gonna quit? When are you gonna quit your job? Like that's my question. Like when are you gonna quit feeding your child? Like when are you gonna quit? You're asking me a question that there's no answer to. When are you gonna fail? I fail every day, but I also succeed the next. So I mean, like, if you want to really know the details, we could talk about it. But they don't want to know the details.
Again, life has its ups and downs, and no matter what path you take, you're going to have its, you know, ups and downs.
Especially when it comes to things like, you know, like family and relationships and or just like business or even money. Like I said this to my family the other day. I'm like, you got billionaires going bankrupt all the time. Like it's ups and downs for everybody. It's not like you can be the healthiest person in the world and then be unhealthy. You can be the richest person in the world and be poor, but you can also come back from that. And that's really my whole faith is just that like no matter what happens, it's literally a balance and you will come back from it if you believe it.
Yeah, and I think with us, with the arts, you're supposed to have most downs than highs.
Especially before you really reach the goal.
But even when you reach the goal,
Which again, what goal? Go ahead.
yeah,
Right.
But let's say your goal is you're gonna be doing tours worldwide, and you're selling millions of records, and you have a lot of money, and you're doing all of these brand deals and all that. You're still going to wake up
And have horrible days.
and have really bad days.
Well, again, yeah, we're emotional beings. We have feelings, we have moods. You're not going to always be happy, and you're not going to always be sad. And if you're at a low point, guess what? That means a high point's coming.
Right.
I always say that the universe requires balance, right? That's why people say there's karma, or what goes around comes around, or you know what you put out comes back to you. But not just that. As far as the balance thing, if something negative happens, I truly believe that God or the universe, or however you want to say, to me, God, is going to balance it out and give you a blessing. Oops, sorry.
Well, to me, I think it depends on how you look at it. So, like, I don't believe in like God or religion or anything like that anymore. I used to, but not anymore. And I think what really matters is what meaning are you going to give to that event and that thing that happened.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And short of someone dying in your family or someone being really sick, like everything else that happens, like in your professional life and your career, your job, or anything like that, it can be simple.
Yeah, you can definitely learn from it, right?
If you decide that, hey, this is just simple. Like, okay, I didn't get the record didn't blow up.
Right. Some of the worst things that can happen to you can like actually be the best things that have happened to you. But you just don't realize it at the moment because you still feel like it's so terrible. But later on you'll realize, wow, if that didn't happen, this would have never happened. And it could
Isn't
be,
that crazy
like if
when
I
that
didn't
happens
lose
like
this
that?
job, I would have never got this job.
Yeah.
And I always call that, like, in my own life, I always say, like, you don't understand why something happens at that moment. But when you look back, you're
will.
able to connect the dots and say, that's why that happened, because that led to this. And it was so negative at the time. But, and not just connecting the dots, but you get to learn from these negative experiences. You get to actually take these lessons and say, what happened here? Why did this happen? What can I do to prevent that?
Kinda like turning the negative into a
How can I make
positive.
it a good thing? Exactly.
So how do you guys deal with like when something shitty like happens or you're having like fucking terrible day?
I sleep.
I sleep too.
I just sleep. That's it.
But how long do you sleep?
It depends what time it is, what kind of thing happened.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple hours,
I
or
do
you'll
the
just sleep for the
same.
night.
That's funny.
If
I
it's
do
late.
the same.
Yeah, it works.
I just listen to music.
I do that.
I know I hear her when I'm trying to sleep.
I listen to music.
Yeah, that works so much for me. Like sometimes if I'm having like a really, really, really bad, like stressful time, I'll just go do a nap for like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's almost like your brain
Resets or
It
something.
resets.
Oh, it does. Every time you sleep, your brain resets.
You like
Yeah.
wake up like, okay.
for longer
you know.
periods of time. If
Yeah.
you sleep for like a longer amount of time, then you do get in that regenerative state while you're asleep, and it does reset to a certain extent.
I do the music when I need to feel a feeling.
Right. Like if you need to be sad or something.
Yes, because sometimes
and you need to just cleanse and let it out, right?
Yes, you need to have.
Or if you want to be
have it.
angry, you want to go listen to like Marilyn Manson or something.
Yes, because sometimes you have to have the feeling. Otherwise, it's like an uncompleted cycle where you weren't able to have that feeling. So you're gonna end up having that cathartic. How do you say that word? Catharsis.
The way I looked at my mom. I don't know.
You have that moment of like release at some point, and you end up blowing up like on another friend.
Exactly.
Like, I remember like last year.
It'll come out when it's not supposed to.
Yeah, last year I had a moment where like my brother was still in Cuba, and they were having protests on the streets.
Man.
People were going out, and like people were getting like beat up by the government because they couldn't like. They were asking for freedom and changes and things like that. And then I remember I was really upset for those like 2-3 days. Really, really upset with all of this. I was arguing with people on Twitter. I was contacting different news outlets here in LA to try to pick up the story. So like
They could get the word out.
yes. And then I remember that one morning, my roommate Abraham, like we were talking about something about eggs and cooking eggs and then all of a sudden like I blew up on him. Like
Yeah.
to me it was like the eggs and this and that.
It has nothing
and
to do with the eggs,
I
yeah.
blew up on him like bad, and he's like a really tough guy too, and he just walked away. And then he came later and he told me like, I know that you're dealing with a lot, and like I wasn't even able to see that in that moment.
That you weren't even mad about the eggs.
No,
That it wasn't about
it
that,
was
yeah,
all of this
yeah.
pent up energy that I had because of this situation, and like not being able to speak with my family. My brother was going out and like documenting everything that was happening.
Wow.
And I was afraid that he was gonna get in trouble or get arrested and things like that. So it's amazing how all of these emotions with music, especially like I fucking love music, Farrah. Like I live my life with soundtracks like at all times possible.
Yeah,
And
me too, man.
For sure, music has been like there for me
It's so
when I
healing.
needed it.
All over
And,
the
like-
world, people use it when they're like, I mean, you can have the longest week at work. You come home, what do you do in the car? Immediately you put on music. Or like, you had a long night, you're going to just put music in the speakers and listen to it. Or like, you're in a drive and you're just going on a drive, you put on the music and it will help you. Like, that's what I do sometimes too when I get stressed. I go on drives, but that's solely just because the music, when it blasts in your ears and there's wind on your face, it's different than just having the wind on your face, you know?
And it's just so healing. Like for me, when I'm let's say I have pent up anger. If I go sing, like I will literally sing and like cry as I'm singing.
That's for me if I write, but that makes sense.
And I'll just freestyle whatever I'm feeling, and I'll just sing, and it's such a release, and it's beautiful, and it definitely helps. Like you said though, like it's like a boiling pot. You don't want to keep holding that stuff because it's gonna boil over, and then like
Some people hold their stuff for years and they don't even realize like it will come back like 20, 30 years later, and they don't know. They don't know that's what it's from.
You gotta let it out. You gotta let it
So,
out.
what's your favorite breakup song?
Oh, of all time or of hers? Of all time?
No,
I don't know.
of you. Like,
Oh, Farrah's. I was like, of all
or,
time,
like,
that's a good one. I don't know.
No, question for both of you.
I'm Hurt is a real. I like the song I'm Hurt.
By who?
Farrah.
Okay, I don't remember that one.
You would really like
send
it.
you.
I like
to listen.
scat.
It is
in
a great breakup song. I think it is a breakup song. It didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah. That's a good one. But besides
So
Farrah,
that's the one you listen, like if you have a breakup, you go put on that song?
Yeah, that's a great song for breakup.
I'm not the one to
It
ask.
has. It
No, I'm
def-
asking you.
I don't know. No. I'd probably put on some like Frank Sinatra or something. If I would
Frank
assume.
Sinatra.
Or no. Celine Dion. A New Day Has Come.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. You? That's it. That's the one actually.
Yeah, I'm Hurt is a great one. Or I'm Burning. My song Burning is a great one. I'm Hurt. Definitely, like the one she mentioned is because
The lyrics are really like nice and breakup.
I actually wrote it, and she wrote it too. We both wrote it, but a lot of it, like, it's about an actual breakup that I went through, and one that she went through as well. So we both kind of used our personal lives to make that record. And my ex passed away, so I kind of wrote the song we both did about, like, for me, that part of my life. And it's actually beautiful, and it's just like the lyrics are just incredible, and just I did scatting, and I really let it rip, especially towards the end vocally. So it's awesome. Another song, Hard to Breathe,
By who? From
by
you?
me. But probably like a breakup song, I would say like
Drake or something. I don't know.
no,
What do people
I
listen
like
to?
Love is a Losing Game. That's another good one. If I'm
The
listening
Best
to
Is
it.
Yet to Come. Sinatra. That's a really good one.
It's funny because she keeps like saying happy songs, and here I am like love
Because
is a-
you're in a breakup, you
Right.
want to hear that a new day
But
has
is that
come.
what
The
you
best is
listen
yet
to?
to come.
Like if you break up with someone, that's the song that you
Celine
go for?
Dion, yeah, for sure, Celine Dion. And then that'll get me to a point where I'll be able to put on Sinatra and start, yeah.
But yeah, Love is a Losing Game by Amy Winehouse is a great one.
People self-sabotage. You're already sad. Like, you wouldn't
Right,
just
but-
get...
But
So-
yeah, I think that you have to feel the
You have to
sadness.
I
let
do.
it
For
out.
certain types of sadness,
You
I
don't,
will.
You don't seem like you need to feel the sadness.
I do, but if it's with a boy, I'm a little more logical. I'm still only 22, so
Yeah.
maybe later on, sure. But a breakup when I'm like 16 for me was probably I never viewed it like I'm gonna marry this boy like my friends did when we were in high school. I was kind of logical always about that. But sadness, I'll listen to music for sure.
So you haven't had
but it's
your
not
heart
about boys.
broken yet.
Not in that way, but I have had it broken
Yeah.
by her brother. It's okay.
What do you mean?
No, my when I was young, my uncle, like I swear, my heart was broken. I could say that very confidently.
Yeah,
when I was in,
it was
broken.
it was a really unfortunate, terrible situation.
And that's probably another reason why I never really did date, because why get it broken again? If you're 15, you're supposed to have fun.
We were
It's
really
more
close
casual.
to our little cousins. They were basically our little siblings, and they lived with us practically. I
They
mean,
probably barely remember us.
yeah. And the boy is actually my godson, but we do not see them anymore just because there's just family.
And like people
craziness.
have breakups and they'll like cry every day for like, bro, I cried every day during school for like
I mean,
at
we were
least
talking like we would send them gifts and
12
stuff, and
to
like
15 months. Like,
they would send us pictures of
so
like
yeah,
the
my heart was
gifts
broken.
in the trash, like the parents would, and we were like, just give these to your kids, and they'd like send us pictures of the gifts in the trash, like it's crazy. Like why?
I've been waiting like 12, 15
Like,
years to
what
say
is the
this in
point
an
of that?
interview.
What part?
Anything.
No,
Everything.
like we love those babies, and they're probably not, I mean, they're not babies anymore, and there's more of them now that we never even got to meet. But
In
it's
my
like,
first book, there's actually a poem where it's called Not Babies, and it's like the last two lines are, you're still my little babies, but you're not babies anymore, or something. But it's very cute.
That's very
Yeah.
good.
That was 16 when I wrote that. That was like 6 years
Yeah.
ago? I don't know.
just crazy though, because we were so close.
But yeah, and that was before we even really started. It was right after that we started really getting into music. Not because of that, but just chronologically, like that's just kind of what ended up happening.
And maybe it is because of that. I mean, looking back, yeah, had we been super close, then we probably wouldn't have been able to do all the music stuff that we've done.
Exactly, and that was my reason. You know, she said years later realized why stuff happened. Well, I realized why. That was why, because it wouldn't have worked out this way. We would have been still raising them. We wouldn't have been able to travel.
I just pray and hope that we get to like, you know, reconvene and become close again in the future. At least like us kids. Like if the parents want to be like that, all right. But like we're all kids. Like come on. Like we're family.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How old are you, Farrah?
26. I just turned 26.
She thinks she's old also. I'm like, you're like actually pretty young. Even relatively to other people, like you're still pretty young
I think
compared to
you're
like,
always going to feel, I don't know.
I feel old. So it's just
But
like
you're
it's
22. So
I just realized I'm not 17 like last month, so because COVID also too. COVID came when I was like 19. I came out of it like 22. Like
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think at least for me life has gotten better as I gotten older.
they say that.
That's
Everybody
good.
says that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We
It's
just become more experienced and like enjoy all the flavors of life and blah, blah, blah.
yeah, you do, and you understand a little bit more like everything good that happens and everything bad that happens. And I don't know, I think we idolize being young a lot.
For no
Yeah.
reason though.
I think it's because our media and what we pay attention to.
Obsessed with youth.
Yes, because the people who are young have more time to pay attention to media. So everything that gets a lot of views and gets very popular is because the young kids that have a lot of time in their hands are paying attention to that.
Right.
Yeah.
But once you're like our age, then you have, like, you don't care so much about all the other things that are happening like outside. Like I could care less what like whatever rapper or artist is doing in their personal life. I
Right.
don't care.
Yep.
Like I play
I
their
have my
music.
own life to focus on.
I have my
Yeah.
own life, my own drama.
Also,
my
whatever
own
we hear
problems.
about them is most likely not true. I'm
Yeah.
just
It's
assuming like why I don't see why it would be. I don't think it ever was, which is fine, but like why obsess over something if you don't even know? Like TMZ got the report that, bro, who got them the report? Like really just don't waste your time. You don't even know any of these people. You don't know if this is true or not. Like
Yeah.
And
Do you-
why? Yeah.
Do you think people still pay attention to that? Like, I'm asking because I don't watch any of that.
I think people will
Yeah,
always pay attention.
they
to
do.
that. I definitely think
on
that
Twitter,
it's
there's
not
a
dead.
big pop music like world of fans, and they're insane. And they each have like in their bios like 10 artists or 15 or 20 like that is their
That they love?
stan artists or whatever. And they'll be like
Stan artists?
stan like who they stan. What does it stand
Oh,
for?
who
Stan.
they stand for?
No, stan. STAN. It's
Like
some
who
type
they're
of
fans
fan.
of.
No, I forget the ST. I learned it one day. I don't remember, but it's what they call themselves. They're not fans. They're like, I stand this person. I don't remember what it means, but it's some type of weird thing. And like they go crazy. Their bio will be like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Kanye West. Give me like one more random name. I don't know, Rihanna. And then every tweet will be about them. There's 10 tweets every minute, like about these people. They're fighting anybody who fights on them. They're commenting on every TMZ thing, and like, yeah, they're still there.
Bro, we need to get some of those fans.
I know. huh?
Yeah, stands. You need to.
Yeah, once you get some stands, you're good.
So the new music is coming out, and what is the song that you're most excited about?
I have the Grammy remix we're doing, I think, for
That's
the
the
Scream remix. It's a really dope song. It's a fun remix. It kind of gives like Lana Del Rey Summertime Sadness remix vibes. It doesn't sound the same, but it's the same type of vibe. It's taking that song and just making it kind of like pop clubby dance. I don't know exactly
It's
the genre.
super hype and fun, and you know you just want to get up and dance. And the song is my original song, Scream. So you make me want to scream, But then the remix, it's already a upbeat, fun, you know, great ass song. But the remix just takes it to that next level.
To
And
like a dance
right,
upbeat.
like super EDM, super festival-y, super like hype and
More poppy a little bit.
and ready to just like go crazy. And it's awesome, and it just makes you feel
And
so
the video
good.
is dope too. I thought it was. They were at the beach, Farrah and the DJ Shitty Princess. It was really. I filmed
Shout
it.
out, Shitty Princess.
Yeah, she's the best. She bought us little goodie gifts bags for the video shoot. I didn't even know that. And then after she was gone, Farrah was like, she got us these. And I was like, what? It was so cute.
She has a crazy ear too. Like
Yeah.
that remix is really goes hard. I'm really excited for that, and I really hope that it does get considered
for a
for
nomination.
a nomination for a Grammy, because that's our whole thing right now. That's where our focus is. We want to get this nomination.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I
Thank
really
you
enjoyed
for
this.
having us.
Yeah, I think we need to do it at least once a year. I need to have you guys come.
Oh
Twice.
yeah, we more than that.
Because this is my thing with every person that I bring on the show is I would really like it to do an interview and then 5 years go by and we sit down
See how
again
things
together
change. Yeah,
as
yeah.
friends, talking about all the things that we're interested
That's
in.
like a lifetime portfolio that's never gonna expire.
That's for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
you know what
big
I'm
goal
saying?
that
That's
I have
really,
for me.
really nice.
Yeah, because I think like conversations like this, especially with crazy people like us.
In the best way possible.
I'm gonna need
Actually,
you next
really
year anyway
quickly,
to
I
talk
wanna
about
say
my
this.
short film.
Oh, I was about to say, bring up films,
You
actually.
were? Oh,
Is,
well, we're on the same page.
Something really cool that we actually just got into recently is like sync and
Oh,
getting
like
our
licensing
music,
music.
getting our music into commercials or ads or movies. And we actually just got 2 songs in our a friend of ours, he's a director.
Well, we met him through this, I think, right? Or did you meet him before?
No, I met him through Instagram.
Okay.
Anyway, his name is Michael Matteo Rossi, and he's awesome. And he just put 2 of our songs.
He's the
in
best.
His,
He's so cool.
In his feature film, and I'm really excited for that.
And it's a really dope film too. It's called something killers. What is it?
The Charisma Killers.
The Charisma Killers. So just keep an eye out for the Charisma Killers. It's very dope.
It's
Each
gonna be
killer is
cool.
like named after how they kill. It's very cool.
Okay, I need
Yeah.
to check that out.
Yeah,
It's
gonna
like
be
we
awesome.
watched some of it. It was a good film. So,
Awesome.
and we have 2 songs in it. So that's our first licensing placement.
Yeah, and we're just working on a whole bunch of stuff for that. And like, you know, our family record label owns everything. We own all publishing. We own all masters, and you know, we don't have any samples and all that technical stuff.
Right. And
So it's-
we're making a Christmas album because I'm doing a Christmas short film animation. I've been working on this since like 2020,
you gotta
2021.
show him. He's a whole director.
Yeah.
But with like animators and stuff from like Germany and platinum producers from like wherever. But so that'll probably be done in about like it'll be done by March because
By Christmas?
no, it's going
No,
for
no,
2024.
next year.
No, come
It'll
on.
be done by
Come on,
March.
come on. We need to get it done before
It's too
Christmas.
late. You can't get it done before Christmas. Apparently, the cutoff for Christmas is
June, dude.
June. Yeah. So you have to have it done by like May or June if you want to really get it in for Christmas. So I was like, okay,
and
well,
all the festivals and getting, you know,
Yeah.
HBO.
but with the music,
or
we're
whoever
like we have a good
interested.
hang on it. Everything's the animations and the done. Like we're in the process of 3D. You know, like we have the designs and stuff. We're just making it 3D and like so. Yeah, that'll be dope. We'll check up on
I
that
do
next
wanna
time
say
though, because
this. Sorry.
we're gonna have a premiere at like I don't know where yet. I want to do it at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood because I know someone who did one there before for her film. So I'll talk to her and see. But yeah, that'll be great. You could come out and everything. You and your brother.
Actually, the film
That's,
that
like,
we went
next
there
year,
for,
though.
a couple of our songs are in that film as well, but that was a few years ago. Anyway, I want to say this real quickly. Well, 2 things. One, I don't know if you know, but our song that she wrote, I sang and embellished with opera last summer and like fall went #1 on radio charts nationwide for New
Yeah,
Music
we got
Weekly.
plaques for it too. We have like plaques,
Yep.
which is dope.
Dang.
So, and that's for independent New Music Weekly charts. It went #1 nationwide for radio, and then on
Top 40 New Music
top
Weekly
40
charts.
New Music Weekly charts. We were, I think, number 24 or 21, right
I think
underneath
21.
right underneath Lady Gaga and above Beyonce. So
way.
everybody was like, "Wow, what a nice sandwich." So we are just following up with that and gonna do more radio campaigns and keep that momentum going. But you asked what song is our favorite, or she answered hers is the Scream remix. One of mine, I love the Scream remix. I think that's awesome.
coming out. Yeah.
But I would say Holy War. We just dropped it, and we're actually going to drop a new mastered version of it on the album. And it's so awesome to me because it has such a cool feel to it. Like kind of like it has like an army type drum, military type drum. But I do a ton of opera in it. And I actually do like some really high notes that kind of resemble like Phantom of the Opera, the song
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera at the end when she does that and the chandelier, falls and
When
all
she
that.
hits her highest note.
Yeah, so I do some of
high
that,
C.
and it's really fun, and it's a great record. And
That's what makes the
it's
album
called-
dope too, is because all the songs we're releasing now, like a lot of them, they're gonna be on the album, but they're gonna be remastered. So they're gonna be a little different, so it's gonna like not just be, oh, we already heard all the songs on the album. Like, no, you didn't. They're gonna be just different. It's gonna like pack a punch.
Right.
So it's gonna be good.
The song Holy War, sorry. It's actually really cool because I feel like we're in such a crazy time in the world right now as far as like spirituality and good versus evil. And I'm not saying you have to believe in God or something, but we're just like in kind of like this whole chaos, like this whole mess of a world right now, just because of COVID and all the craziness and the wars and the blah, blah, blah. And so Holy War is like a really cool song because it kind of hits on that topic of like good versus evil and like what side are you on and like,
And we do come from the land of holy wars, so
right.
it's kind of
So
fitting.
it's cool, and then the opera gives it that like intensity, and the military drum, it's war. So it's a really cool record.
People will say like, you can't say things about stuff you don't understand. I understand it. So
Yeah.
that's
So
kind of
that's
where that came
that's
from.
my answer to what question or what song I'm really excited about. The Scream remix for sure, and Holy War, and then super happy and proud of us for the, charting #1 nationwide.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do it again next month.
For sure. Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you,
for
you're the
having us.
best.
What an awesome, studio you have, and the view is gorgeous. and
Beautiful.
your energy is fantastic. You are just a
Thank
great
you.
guy.
Got the dope hair as always.
Yep,
Thank
you are
you.
awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much for checking out this interview. If you like this episode, check out this other episode that we did with Farrah and Tamara a while ago, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it.